Thank you for joining us for our Study Abroad info session, Study Abroad 101, and with specifically with our online and distance learning students. I'm excited to be presenting to you all and hopefully give you an insight into what study abroad can mean and how you could incorporate a study abroad journey into your time here at the University of Arizona. We are recording the session, so we'll get this posted up on all of our video hosting sites, wherever that may be. But I have a short presentation to get through, kind of more of a formal presentation, and I like to leave plenty of time at the end for any questions that we may have. I'll go ahead and start by introducing myself. My name is Jacob Evis. I'm the study abroad recruiter, and I also oversee our study abroad peer advising program, where study abroad alumni help students like you figure out what study abroad option might work for them, explore everything that we have available, and also share their experience on being on study abroad. They have all gone on study abroad journeys themselves within the last 2 years, so it's very relevant experience. And so the peer advising program is a really great opportunity that I will talk a little bit more about later on. And I will have my colleague from online introduce herself as well.
Hi, my name is Heidi Hopkins. I'm the manager for student engagement with Arizona Online, and we're really excited to be having this one-on-one session and just broadening the awareness of study abroad and all the programs and different just information and types of opportunities that there is available. So thank you, Jacob, for doing this.
Yeah, thank you, Heidi. So I like to start out with the myths of study abroad, because this is what we run into every day when we talk about study abroad or interacting with students. There's some ideas about what study abroad is and can be or cannot be. And so I like to just kind of get these out of the way, clear the room so we can start fresh and really hopefully find the perfect journey for you. We get asked a lot about the language. So all of our programs are taught in English. You don't need to know the local language to take the classes. Now, certainly we encourage you to be a good guest in your host country and maybe learn a little bit of language, because you're going to be interacting with the locals outside of the classroom. And if you're going to go on study abroad to improve your language abilities, then obviously you're going to be taking classes in that language. But outside of that, for your non-language academics, that's going to all be taught in English, even in countries where it's not the primary language. And when it comes to academics, we have a lot of options. For study abroad, for our purposes, we look at it as it can be a mix of a lot of different things. So you can take major courses, minor courses, if you have gen ed courses or open elective courses. We also have internship and research opportunities for study abroad. So it can be a lot of things. Now, students obviously want to earn credit towards their degree, and that's what study abroad is about, is taking credits overseas that's going to get you to graduation. We're not trying to delay graduation. We're not trying to tack on an extra semester to make this happen. We want this to fit nicely within your degree plan. And so we do a lot of work up front before you ever leave to make sure that the classes you're going to take overseas are going to count towards your graduation requirements. Summer is just an option. It's probably the most popular option that we have. Also, it may be attractive to this audience tonight with our online and distance learning students, because it doesn't interrupt your schedule, right? It's shorter amount of time. But it's just one option. You can do a lot of different things. You could do fall or spring semester. You could do a combination of the 2 semesters. We also have a couple of winter programs, and we have some spring break programs as well. So study abroad can be a lot of things to a lot of different people. It's not just one thing for one major at one time, which is something we run into a lot, students thinking it's only for certain majors. And then the last one, and this is probably the most common perception about study abroad, is that it's expensive, right? And I can't tell you it's the exact same as staying where you're at and taking classes, because you're going to have to get a plane ticket. And when you get over there, you're going to want to have fun. You're going to want to travel. You're going to see things and do stuff. That's going to cost some money, right? But I have good news, and I'm going to hold it till the end. But we have good news when it comes to how affordable study abroad can be. And there are a lot of opportunities out there to get additional funding to help support your own journey on study abroad. So now that we've sort of cleared the room, we've taken care of some of these ideas about what study abroad is, we can dive right into it. And I'll pause and say, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat box. I'll try and answer them as we go along. If I happen to miss it, we'll definitely get to it at the end of the presentation. So basic facts, the 101 part of this. We go to a lot of places, we do a lot of different things. You do have to have sophomore standing. You have to have a minimum 2.5 GPA. Some of our programs may have a higher GPA requirement, but it's listed on all of our program page what the actual requirement is. But baseline is a 2.5. And that sophomore standing is pretty much based on having 30 credits, right? And so as long as you're going to have 30 credits, by the time your program starts, then you'll be okay. And I'll say most students, if they want to do a semester, they're going out in their sophomore or junior years. It's not always advisable to go out in your senior year, but it can happen. It does happen, and it may be a possibility for you. Now, some of the good news about financially, you're paying tuition here. You're not paying it in your host country, okay? And so you're paying it just the same way you pay your bills now, which is through your student account, through UAccess. So that's good news, in addition to being able to use scholarships and financial aid. And then peer advising. If you are really interested in exploring what could be possible for you, I highly recommend you book an appointment with our peer advisor, which you can do online. We do Zoom appointments most days of the week. And I dropped the link in the chat there, just calendly.com/study abroad peer advisor. And if you go there, you can set up an appointment with us to talk one-on-one about what would fit for your degree plan and your desires for where to travel to. So really great place to get started once you've decided study abroad is something you're interested in exploring. And I like to just take a moment and encourage students to really consider what their goals are. This will help us in a meeting if you're coming to talk with us, or even meeting with your academic advisor, which I highly recommend you do. What is it that you want to get out of a study abroad experience? Why are you doing this? And it's okay if the goal is just to get out, right? I hear this all day, every day from students. I just want to get out of Tucson. I always wanted to go to Europe, or I've always wanted to travel. I've always wanted to speak a new language. These are other common ones. And so those goals probably at this point in time are pretty simple. But there are a lot of things that can happen on study abroad to really propel you forward. Not just that personal growth of living in a new culture, of living in a new, or dealing with a new language. But we could also be looking at professional development goals. You could build a global network. We have a lot of students who come back and use the connections they've made in the, getting into that international job market, right? Or even just getting into the domestic job market, but using, international networks to do it. The other thing that happens is you're exposed to a whole world of graduate or, postgraduate education happening outside the United States, potentially in your area of study. So that may help you. Now, the party line, I'm supposed to encourage you to get your graduate degree here at the University of Arizona. And I do encourage you to think about that. But what happens with study abroad is the world is sort of opened up to you in a lot of meaningful ways, both personally, academically, and professionally. And so having some idea of what it is you want to accomplish will help us guide you towards the right program, towards the right experience. And the last thing I'll say about this is, most students come to study abroad because they want to travel, because they want to do all the stuff that's going to happen outside of the classroom. And so I look at our job as being here to make sure that that first side of the study abroad coin, the study part, that's what we're here to do. We're here to make sure that you're going to get academic credit that's going to count towards your degree. You're going to go over there, you're going to have a great time, you're going to see a lot of things, experience a lot of new stuff, and you're going to bring those credits back with you in addition to all those experiences, and help get you towards graduation. And so for you, dream big on the abroad part, come talk to us and we'll figure out the study part to get you your own study abroad journey. And also I'd love to hear where people want to go in the world. That's why I love doing this job. If you've had any, I always ask students, where's the #1 place you've always wanted to visit? Because if we can find a place that's at your top of your bucket list, places you've always wanted to go to, that's going to have academic courses that are relevant to you, that's the best option. That's the goal. That's what I'm always striving to do, is to match up those two things. So yeah, really picture yourself abroad. I see we've got a question here. Is study abroad beneficial to my career? Miriam, I'm not sure I know what career means. But, and then you're also asking if if family can come along. I think that's what you're asking. That will depend on programs. We do get this request decently often. And it will really depend on the program you're going on and for how long you're going. I would say bringing family along for anything in the semester to year-long range is going to be very tough. Summer programs, not so much, because they're shorter. We're not in student housing at least that often. So yeah, in that, with bringing the families along, there's a lot to consider. And certainly we can chat about that with you one-on-one, based on where it is you would like to go and what it is you need to be studying. So Miriam, I hope that answered your question. This is, oh yes, Miriam, please.
Hello,
Yeah.
hi everyone. Yeah, I'm very interested in study abroad, especially with my study. I started as an anthropology student, and now
Yeah.
I changed to Africana online. So for me to travel, that's something I'm interested to do. But I don't know for the long term, or like you said in the summertime, that's like short term. I have a daughter, she's 12 years old, and I would like for her to attend American school if we travel abroad. So especially American school.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. That would be a
Mhm.
very unique one. That wouldn't be the kind of thing that would happen on a summer study abroad for sure, because you're just not there for that long. Again, it would
Yes.
be dependent on the program that you wanted to do, where you wanted to go. But I can tell you that if that was a possibility, that would be something that you'd have to sort out, probably mostly independently. That our office would not have a lot of resources in finding your kid a school to go to while you were in school. Now, we could certainly connect you with our partners at the university that you would be studying at.
Oh,
But in terms of finding a place for your kid, yeah, that would kind of be more independent on you, and really, again, based on where it is you're going. Because the other thing you'll have to consider is you're getting a student visa, and that country needs to allow dependents to travel on a student visa with you. So some countries may allow that, some countries may not allow that. And so again, it really is just going to be very specific to what it is you're hoping to accomplish.
I'm hoping to learn more and discover more about other country, about
Okay.
other cultures. I'm very interested in different culture, different people.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to learn more about other cultures.
So I
So
really would Miriam, recommend that you could schedule an appointment with our peer advisor, one of our peer advisors, to kind of go through our programs. And we can kind of talk more about, kind of one-on-one and really find something that's going to work well for you.
Right.
And in a minute, I'm going to show you how we can navigate our website, maybe to start answering some of those questions ahead of time. But in the meantime, what you see here is kind of your journey to study abroad, right? From today, you have some interest to being a study abroad alumni. We really encourage students to do a lot of upfront research before you're starting your application. So connecting with your academic advisor, connecting with your professors, maybe talking to us, evaluating programs, what's going to work better, what's going to have the classes that you need for your degree. And then the time comes to apply, because you really are only applying to one program at a time. We get students asking all the time, well, should I open multiple applications in case I don't get in? And that is a very rare thing. Most students, 9 out of 10 students, are getting their first choice. And so they can go with that right from the start. So we really encourage students to do the research, connect with us before applying to a program. And then, of course, we will prepare you for your time overseas. We will do a pre-departure orientation. We will do health and safety orientation. And so we make sure everything is set before you ever get on a plane. Before you get on a plane, you will know what classes you're going to take, how they're going to fit into your degree plan. You're going to know where you're going to be sleeping, and you're going to know where you're going to be taking those classes. And all of our programs are fully supported. None of these programs are you being dropped in the middle of nowhere and told to figure it out for yourself. There will always be somebody on the ground over there, wherever there may be for you, to be a resource and to help you. And then you're abroad, right? That's what everybody wants to get to, is being abroad and having a great experience. And then coming back, right? Help us convince the next generation of students to do study abroad. I think you will find that you will be changed in ways both big and small. And hopefully it really springboards you into the next steps after study abroad and after graduation. Now, these are some of the questions that you may be asking yourself. There's some of the big ones, and I put them up there only to show you that these are the questions we're here to help you answer, right? And that your academic advisors could potentially be there to help you answer as well. So who can help plan? I've talked a lot about this. Peer advisors, study abroad coordinators, that's our advisors, your academic advisors. If you know people, family and friends that have done study abroad, I recommend, chatting with them. What kind of classes do you need? Do you need major classes, minor classes, gen eds, electives? We can cover a lot of things. And then for me, I'm going to jump right to the bottom, the most important one. Where is it that you have always dreamed of going? And I tell every student I talk to, let's start there, because there's no point in sending you somewhere you've never even wanted to go to, just to accomplish a study abroad experience, because I can tell you, for the most part, if you go somewhere you don't want to go to, you're not going to have a good time. And we want to make sure that this is a all encapsulating experience for you. And for the what types of programs and the when and how long, this will kind of depend exactly on what it is that we need to accomplish for any specific student. But these are all questions that we will help you answer as you start your journey. Now, the good news, financing study abroad. I'm going to start at the bottom. There are a lot of scholarships out there, and it amazes me every year how much of it goes unclaimed by students. I've listed 2 of the big national awards, Gilman Scholarship and Fund for Education Abroad. These are several $1,000s. Gilman can be up to $5,000 in your bank account to support a study abroad experience. Now, Gilman is specific to Pell Grant students. So if you've received a Pell Grant, then you're eligible to apply for the Gilman. But the other one, Fund for Education Abroad, also a couple $1,000s and does not have the Pell Grant requirement. So anybody can apply to that scholarship. I always encourage students to talk to their departments. Maybe they have study abroad scholarships, they have travel funds. On our website, we also have two databases that you can use to look for study abroad scholarships. We have our scholarship tracker, and when we also link to the university's database, which you've probably heard of, is called Scholarship Universe. And those are two great places to start looking for additional scholarships that you may need to help support your study abroad experience. And I'm going to drop a pair of links here in the chat. The first one is direct to our study abroad website that talks about scholarships. And then the other one is the financial aid. The Office of Scholarships and Financial Aid has a really good website where they outline how financial aid works for study abroad. And the really nice thing on there is they have a chart that lists all of the aid that's out there and which of our programs you can use it on to do study abroad. So I really recommend that you check out both of those links to look for funding and also to understand your own financial aid situation and how that may impact your study abroad. And Miriam, I do see your hand. I'm going to finish this slide and then I will get to you. When it comes to costs, so if you're an online student or and then if you're a distance or near you network, those are your per credit costs in terms of your tuition. And again, that is charged to your student account here and not overseas wherever you may be. Now, you will also have some cost of living, things like housing, meals, of course, travel. So that cost. You will also be required to get international health insurance, which we automatically enroll you in, and then we just charge it to your student account. Additional out-of-pocket costs will include things like your flight. If you need to get a passport or if you need to apply for a student visa, we can see that there. So there are some additional costs. And what's nice is on any program page that you look at, we break that cost down and we show you exactly what's charged to your student account and what you are responsible for out of pocket. Yes, Miriam, that's a great question. And I feel bad that I'm going to keep saying this. It will depend on the country you're going to if you're allowed to work on study abroad. But I will tell you from experience, if you can, if the country you're going to allows you to work on a student visa, it's going to be part-time. It's very rare where I see them allow you work full-time. And part-time jobs, even outside the US, generally don't pay all the bills. What I tell students is this is kind of like pocket money or walking around money. So it'll help, but it's not going to pay for everything. And most countries limit you to part-time, so it's usually around 20 hours, something like that. Some countries even require that job to be on campus. That's how it is here in the United States. If you are an international student and you come here to study on campus, most of the jobs that you can get are on-campus jobs. And that's how most countries operate. So it can be possible in some countries. Again, it's not going to pay for everything. So that's kind of my spiel. I did want to show you our website real quick to share just some resources that we have out there that I think are would be helpful to you as you're thinking about doing study abroad. So our study abroad website is really easy, studyabroad.arizona.edu. And I'll drop that in the chat there. You should be able to see it on my screen now. Here's our high-level banner, just kind of featuring some things that are going on in study abroad. But really, the best resources are right here in this blue bar. And the Getting Started page is the best place to go. This maps out everything, kind of like what I've talked about today, starting with your goals and leading all the way up to starting your application for study abroad. But you can check your eligibility here, and we can see there's our audience tonight, the online and distance campus. Here's where you can come. Now, I know our audience is going to be mostly online. You might not be coming to campus that often. If you do happen to find yourself on campus, we do drop-in advising here at the Global Center every afternoon, 2 to 5. And so you can drop in, no appointment, but the link that I put in earlier for the peer advising will get you to where you can book a Zoom appointment with us to chat one-on-one. And then this is where most students want to jump to, is right to the catalog. So I'm going to go there and real quick, just kind of show you what this looks like. So I'm going to pick our most popular destination, which is Spain. And our most popular program in Spain is Barcelona. And I'm only doing this for demonstration purposes, but the information that I'm showing you will apply to any of our programs. So the pop-up box, usually we have like a student video or something like that, which is really nice, some quick facts about it, and a few photos to get you excited. But really, we want to jump to the more information. And then once we're on there, we have our upfront facts right here. There's our credit type. Most of our programs for semester long are transfer credit. Most of our summer ones are direct credit. There's our GPA requirement, our eligibility, deadlines. Here's where you apply once you're ready. And every program page will have its own apply now button. I'm going to start down here at the bottom. Program details will show you dates, deadlines, calendars. It'll also cover all the cost considerations, and it'll also show you a budget. So if we click here, we can see the budget for Barcelona. Now, with the caveat that what you're seeing here in tuition is not necessarily going to be yours because you're online distance learning students. This is for main campus students. So that part would be different for you all, and it would be that per credit cost that I talked about earlier. It talks about the location, where the program's at, what kind of housing is offered there. It talks about internships. That's kind of specific to Barcelona. We have a couple of other sites where you can do internships as well, and you can do them in combination with academic classes, or you could just do a standalone internship. And then the key part is the academics. And so there's some preamble here that kind of talks about what's going on in that location in terms of courses. And then we can look here and see what courses are offered, and we can see what they've already been approved for. So for example, if you needed marketing 456 in your degree plan, you could go to Barcelona and take that class and get that credit, that 3 units of marketing 456. And we've done this on all of our program pages, not just this one I'm showing you here, but any program you look at, it will outline exactly what academics you can achieve and how they will transfer back to the University of Arizona. So really nice setup, I think, on our website. I really recommend poking around in there, but again, book an appointment with us because we can help you kind of guide you there. Yes, great question, Heidi, about internships. They are always unpaid. Yeah, they're always unpaid because they're for credit and you're paying tuition. And so, yeah, I have not seen a paid internship for study abroad. And also that gets into weird visa regulation stuff as well, too. So, yeah, let me, and that is the end of what I wanted to share with you all today. I did want to show you my last slide here. If you would like to get connected with us, you can scan that code or just log on there, shoot us an email, studyabroad@arizona.edu. If you happen to be on Instagram, I highly recommend our Instagram page because we have a lot of great student content from our all of our popular destinations and some of our off the beaten path destinations. And it really shows you what a day in the life could look like for you at one of these study abroad experiences. So if you have Instagram or you're on Instagram, I highly recommend you hop over there and check it out.